So I'm sure you've all heard of Bubsy's horrible past in the gaming community, since all of his games have been terrible, and maybe he also even has the worst 3D game of all time. Maybe, and good lord is his game's bad, and I'm sure you've also recently heard about Sonic Forces, a game that has been getting a lot of excitement recently, especially since recently we got the trailer for the new villain, Infinite. And, yeah, he's edgy. More so than Shadow. I don't know how that's possible, but it is. But, anyway, I'm going to explain this. I am more hyped for Bubsy's new game, Bubsy the Woolly Strike Back, far more than Sonic Forces. I'm going to explain why. Sonic's games have always been hit or miss, and expectations can sometimes be way too high or too low. And that can confuse people on what to think about for a game. And I'm seeing a little bit of that with this game thanks to the way Infinite is with all of the edge going around him and people making fun of it. But Bubsy only gives off extremely low expectations due to how bad his games in the past were. Since his expectations are so low, the chance for his game to surprise me and actually be good are actually quite high. While the expectations for Sonic is if I make them too high, and the game turns out to be horrible like 06, or Boom, then the game's going to be a huge disappointment. Now let me explain expectations a little bit better than what I just did. Sonic Forces is getting a lot of hype right now because, well, it's a Sonic game. Sonic has a lot of fans, very loyal fans as well. And since his fans are so loyal, their expectations are going to be extremely high, wanting to have a super fantastic game of the year quality thing. And if the game turns out to be bad, it's not going to live up to expectations. In fact, it's going to extremely disappoint them. And even if the game does turn out to be great, it still wouldn't exceed their expectations, therefore still leaving some disappointment at the end of the day. However, Bubsy, having excitement for Bubsy is quite easy to do. Even though his games in the past were so bad, that leaves, like I said, with low expectations. And with low expectations, that makes the chances for the game to actually exceed them much, much higher. Such as, if the game just turns out to be decent with my low expectations, it's going to far exceed what I was expecting. Therefore, making me extremely happy at the end of the day, knowing that Bubsy did have a good game. And even if Bubsy's game turns out to be complete garbage, and even worse than Bubsy 3D somehow, I won't be disappointed because my expectations were so low. And now, I'm not saying Bubsy's going to be better than Sonic. In no way am I saying that at all. In fact, I know the Sonic game is going to be far better than Bubsy's game, because the Bubsy animation is a bit, stiff. Though the Sonic animations, from what I'm seeing currently, are a bit the same, though Bubsy's a bit more so, and the graphics aren't as good on Bubsy. But think of it like a movie. If you're going to see Sonic, it's like going to watch the Mona Lisa of movies is what you're expecting, but either you go out of just seeing a good movie and being disappointed, or you just saw a bunch of garbage and you're extremely angry. Now, let's flip that on the side, on Bubsy's angle. It's like you see a trailer for a movie that looks absolutely horrible and completely just garbage that no one would ever go to see. So you go to see it to make fun of it, and it turns out the movie was actually good. It has exceeded your expectations, and even if the movie was horrible, your expectations were still met. You got a bad movie. You really don't have anything to really complain about. Plus, it's just nice seeing an old face that you haven't seen in a long time, compared to someone's face who you see everywhere. Even if that old face is one that you don't like, or one that has a bad past to it. It's still just good to see old faces. But let me know what you think. Personally, I'm just not as hyped for Sonic Forces as I am Bubsy. And when I say that, I'm hype having extremely low expectations, just like a bad movie. I still like Sonic Forces, but I'm not getting my hopes up for it. Just because some of the things sort of just don't look that good, though some do. Again, I'm not trying to bash on Sonic or anything. I know he has a lot of good games. In fact, I liked Sonic Chronicles. Brotherhood of Dark, I think it was called. No, Dark Brotherhood, there it is. But let me know what you think. Bye.